First off, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, especially those of you that knew I'd be saying a few words that know me. It's very touching that you still decided to come out. So I wanted to start off by thanking Kevin and Carrie Beat for allowing us to all be together tonight. You know, especially with the circumstances, it's just amazing what everybody's been able to pull together. And of course, we're raising such a wonderful daughter in Allison and Rachel as well, and a wonderful son. So I was honored when Patrick asked me to be his best man, and I really couldn't wait, to be honest, to be part of his wedding. So now here we are, and where do I start? I guess I'll start at the beginning. Pat and I first met our freshman year of high school. I'd asked him to go to Kings Island with me for the day, and some time went by. He didn't say anything, and he came running up and kneed me in the back, knocking me on the ground, and helped me up, and very enthusiastically, as he often is, said, "Yeah, man, I'll go." And we've pretty much been friends ever since, you know, and our friendship has only gotten better and better. So over time, we've gotten progressively closer, and we've had some great times over the years, from sneaking beers at my parents' house, allegedly, to training for and running a Spartan race together after high school, to the summer that we worked together in a fab shop. Most memorably, of course, are the couple trips we've had to Hocking Hills, where the Beats were kind enough to let us stay in their cabin free of charge. Truthfully, Patrick has always been my best friend. Believe it or not, one of the most stressful times for me was when he was on the job hunt shortly after graduating from Ohio State. I was praying Patrick would get a job in town. I should have known he wasn't going anywhere, and he ended up staying right in Cincinnati getting his dream job. He would not settle for any career short of what he had worked very hard for, but that's just how Patrick is. If he wants something, he works for it until he has achieved his goal. And I guess I shouldn't say until, because even after he has something, he keeps working at it until he's the best that he can be. And that's how I know Patrick's going to be an amazing husband to Allie, because he is such a committed man in everything that he does. So the moment Patrick told me about Allie, I knew that Allie was the one for him, and I knew that they would get married, because that is just the kind of guy Patrick is. Like I said, he is very committed, and I know he will be a committed, strong husband for Allie. Just like in all other aspects of his life, Patrick will constantly work towards their goals and ambitions, and he will never stop loving Allie with the same love that he has for her here today. Everything about this weekend has obviously been nothing short of a miracle. The amount of work I know Allie and her family have put in to make this happen, despite the current circumstances, shows how important it is to everybody that's here. Everybody that was here, we had people flying from Denver, a lot of people driving from Cincinnati. I know every day Allie and her sister have been putting in hours upon hours, even down to how our name tags are written. So I think it's a pretty amazing feat that we're able to celebrate these two people here together. But Allie's like Patrick in this regard. She's very stubborn. She's never going to quit. From her success in school that has led to her becoming Dr. Beat, to her relationship with Patrick, she never stops working and striving to be the best at whatever she is doing. I know Allie will be a great wife to Patrick, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for them. The patience Allie has had for putting up with me all these years, and on top of that, even allowing me to be in her wedding, just shows how big her heart really is. From forcing Patrick and I to go out at Ohio State instead of just watching TV, and stopping me from fighting random frat guys on campus, we've certainly had some great times. Now, I had a Bible verse in this, and oddly enough, I had like 20 verses that I wanted to read. And oddly enough, it's the same verse that Mrs. Hamad read during the Mass. And I actually think that's kind of a sign, you know, out of all those verses, that we happen to pick the same one. And it's pretty, I think it's good to start your wedding with it and maybe end your day with it. So from Corinthians chapter 13, "If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and I can fathom all mysteries and knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor, and I give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing." Allie and Patrick, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you, because I know that you're going to have a wedding filled with happiness and love. So here's a toast to a perfect couple, to my best friend and his beautiful bride, the new Mr. and Mrs. Hamad. Cheers. Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
That's the last. Before I get started, I'd like to just take a second to thank the Beats and my parents for putting together such a great weekend and afternoon and evening. I'm lucky enough to witness a lot of moments, big and small. like the first time he picked up a golf club and then promptly swung it at her grandma. His thankfully very brief stint as a backpack fashion model. You can ask him about it later. And then his proposal to Allie out in Colorado. Patrick is smart, funny, dedicated, and almost frustratingly good at everything that he does. And I have no doubt he's going to make an excellent husband and partner to you, and that you two are going to have a great life together. So I know this weekend might not have been what was initially planned, but it was still perfect. Thank you for letting us all be a part of it. So if you could all grab a glass, cheers to Patrick and Allie. Here's to a lifetime of love and happiness. Congratulations.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank everyone for coming and celebrating the newlyweds. And for everyone who doesn't know, though I'm pretty sure by this point all 20 of you know that I'm Allie's sister. Allie and I were not close until about 7 years ago when I stopped being the annoying little sister and she stopped being the mean big sister. Over the years, our relationship grew, and now she's my best friend, who is supportive, loving, courageous, talented, intelligent, funny, reliable, and adventurous. We have so many memories, whether it be traveling, dress shopping for my prom or your wedding, brunch dates at Napa, shopping for candles at TJ Maxx for hours, spending the day at the pool drinking White Claws, trips to Starbucks, and so much more. I couldn't ask for a better sister like you. As I think back to the first time I met Pat, which was nearly 6.5 years ago, he was pretty quiet and reserved, which is probably why I believed everything he said, even when it was obviously a joke or sarcasm. I'd like to think I'm getting better at that, but I don't think other people would agree with me. I have truly enjoyed getting to know Pat and having him around. My favorite memories include countless breakfasts at the original Pancake House, vacations, playing cards, listening to you correct my grammar and pointing out that I say the word like 1,000 times when I talk, and the 4-hour car rides when I would want to go home from UC, where you would eagerly point out any cool car that would pass us. You have always been so kind to me, whether it was rides home, paying for my food when I would third wheel, helping set up for my graduation party, letting me come over when Allie was in Cincinnati, and connecting me with LinkedIn for a class assignment. You never complained. I'm so happy for the both of you and can't wait to see the adventures life takes you on. So here's to love, laughter, and happily ever after. Cheers. Cheers.
Again, for those of you who haven't had a chance to get to know me yet, I'm a little bit like Ed Crankshaft. Does everybody know who Ed Crankshaft is? Anybody? Well, if you don't, read the Sunday comic strips. He's an old gentleman, and he tends to use words that he thinks he knows what they mean, but he's really not sure, but he still uses them in conversation. And he always intermixes metaphors. So by the end of the night, after a couple of drinks, if I'm intermixing metaphors, like, you know, the oil's under the bridge now instead of the water's under the bridge, just please nod your head and, you know, and smile, and it'll make me feel good. So Ellie, do you remember the Christmas when Santa brought you late? You ran outside and wished upon the stars for a horse to be in the barn. You truly believed all it took was a simple wish and it would come true. I never enjoyed more than watching your face light up by hugging that horse with a death grip around its neck. Little did Lacey know that night, in reality, you were some kind of abnormal growth that would be permanently attached to her neck. It made me so happy to see you so happy. I also remember when I would lie on my back on the floor and you would stand up in my hands, surfing and balancing on one foot in my hand. I would toss you in the air like a rag doll and catch you before hitting the floor. Unlike Rach, who I dream things up at night that would cause her harm, you trusted me. You trusted I wouldn't let you get hurt. Or maybe you were just a little naive little girl, who knows? But those are the two things I wish for you as a father, to be happy and to keep you from harm. Then you reached a point in your life when boys started coming around. A father's worst nightmare, at least mine. But that was okay, you see, because I had a plan. Step one of the plan was this guy. He was my enforcer. I gave Adam my blessing to intimidate, belittle, and abuse any boy who would let him talk to Allie. And my understanding is he carried out his responsibilities very well. Step two of the plan, when Ellie would bring friends home for Carrie and I to meet, I devised a way to see if any of the boys were worth a grain of salt. The plan was simple. I wouldn't talk to them unless they talked to me first. I never had a conversation with any of them. Years later, Allie would tell me that any boy that came to our house was afraid of me. The plan worked. Well, that is until Patrick. Patrick, from the first day I met you, you were an enigma to me. There's one of those words, I'm not sure what it means, but I'm using it anyways. I couldn't quite figure you out. You see, Patrick wasn't much of a talker at first. However, he would always make eye contact and greet Carrie and I with a hello. He wouldn't walk past me with his head down like a whipped puppy dog like all the other boys. He was polite.
How many were there?
He would thank us for a meal or thank us for just having him over to the house. He would do all the right things that a young man should do. The way he handled himself is a testament to the individuals who raised him. I noticed the plan wasn't working. He was making the effort, thus I couldn't be a total jerk. I was forced to respond to Patrick with a hello. Starting conversations between us, even though they were short conversations, over time they grew. The conversations built on one top of the other until you started breaking down the barrier that I had put up. But I wasn't ready to give up. I devised a second plan. I decided I would say or do small things to see if I can get under his skin, get him upset, irate, and out of his comfort zone. Get him to reach a way that I wouldn't like him. You see, I knew if I tried hard enough, I could find something I didn't like about him. Well, I failed. I couldn't find it. Patrick, you make Allie happy. And you have the confidence in yourself not to let the comments of a protective father get to you. This self-confidence is what makes you and Allie such a great pair. You both share this trait. So you won and gained my trust. As I mentioned earlier, there are two things I always wanted for Allie: to be happy and to be safe. I have accomplished this for the first 26 years of her life. Well, maybe not happy all the time, but I have kept it along. I now entrust you to do the same for the rest of your life. So don't screw it up. So again, as everybody else said, I asked you to raise your glasses. And these two are no longer important as individuals to all of us. They're important to us as a couple. And I'd like to have you join me in congratulating Mr. and Mrs. Hamad. Never get down.